Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going deep on something a little different. We're going to be diving into the FrandsenFiles Compendium.
Ah,
It's this collection of research reports on, well, real supernatural events put together by Dakota Frandsen.
a fascinating choice for a deep dive. So, what exactly is this compendium all about?
Well, Frandsen, he calls himself a specialist of the strange.
Mm,
By the way, he's basically trying to document phenomena that, challenge our understanding of how the world works.
I see. A real-life X-Files, then.
Kinda, yeah. He's drawing on almost 29 years of personal experience with this stuff.
That's a lot of time spent with this strange and unusual. Makes you wonder what kind of stories he's collected over the years.
Right. And it's not just stories. He's got like evidence reports, all sorts of things backing up his claims. So we're starting with entry #1, which focuses on Frandsen himself.
Okay, so the man behind the compendium, what's his story?
Well, he claims he's had psychic abilities since childhood, precognitive dreams, strong intuition, the whole 9 yards.
Psychic abilities, huh? That's a bold claim right out of the gate.
It is.
Mm.
But he's got some pretty detailed accounts of these experiences. And what's interesting is how these abilities seem to be tied to both, like everyday events and some pretty traumatic stuff in his life. For instance, there's this one account of a childhood trauma. He was stabbed in the neck with a pen.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty intense. And he links this event to a vision he had of like a dragon man offering him some kind of dark deal.
okay, now that's creepy. A dragon man. What do you think that symbolizes?
I'm not sure, but it definitely sets a dark tone.
Mhm.
And speaking of dark, entry #2 dives into a potential alien abduction when Frandsen was only 6.
An alien abduction. This is getting interesting.
Yeah, it's a wild one. He describes vanishing from his home in Jerome, Idaho, and then suddenly reappearing 30 miles away, like poof, at his grandparents' house, no less.
And he doesn't remember how he got there.
Nope, no memory of the journey itself.
Yeah.
But he does vividly recall being taken aboard a spacecraft and examined by these gray
The
aliens.
gray alien's a classic abduction scenario.
Exactly. Now, on its own, it might sound far-fetched, right?
Yeah.
But get this, Frandsen actually includes a corroborating UFO sighting report in this entry.
Wait, so there's another witness. Someone else saw something.
Yeah, a newlywed couple driving near Twin Falls reported seeing a UFO around the same time Frandsen disappeared.
A UFO sighting report filed around the same time and in the same general location as Fransen's alleged abduction. That does add another layer to this.
Right, and their description of the craft matches what Frandsen claims to have seen. Rotating lights, the whole shebang.
So we have a potential abductee and a separate UFO sighting. Makes you wonder if there's more to this story than meets the eye.
It really does, and this is where things take an even stranger turn. In entry #3, Frandsen introduces this idea that he's the reincarnation of an extraterrestrial being named Ilarion Tunita.
Hold on, reincarnation. So we're going from alien abduction to reincarnation now.
It's a lot to take in, I know. But apparently, Ilarion was this Tal Shiar.
What?
Tal Shiar. It's this humanoid species that can, like, blend in with humans on Earth.
Okay, shape-shifting aliens. I'm following.
So, according to Frandsen, Ilarion was part of this tyrannical regime, but defected and joined the Galactic Federation of Worlds.
So he's like a space rebel.
Yeah, basically. But the question is, why would this Ilarion be reincarnated as Dakota Frandsen? What's the connection?
Well, that's what makes these reports so intriguing, isn't it? We're trying to piece together this puzzle, connect the dots between seemingly unrelated events.
Exactly. So entry #3 goes on to explain that Ilarion was sent on a mission to spy on Nazi Germany during World War II.
Okay, now we're adding Nazis to the mix. This is getting wilder by the minute.
I know, right? And it gets even crazier. He supposedly had connections to figures like Maria Orsic, a member of the Vril Society.
The Vril Society, wasn't that like an occult group with some pretty strange beliefs?
Yeah, they were into all sorts of esoteric stuff. Some say they were even trying to contact otherworldly beings.
So we've got aliens, Nazis, and a secret society all tangled up together. This is like something out of a Dan Brown novel.
It really is. But the question is there any evidence to back up these claims, or is it all just, speculation?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Well, Frandsen does include some intriguing pieces of evidence in his reports. For example, there are a few old photographs that he claims show Ilarion in the 1920s and 30s.
Photographs of an alien from nearly a century ago. That would be something to see.
Right. He also suggests that Ilarion's experiences during World War II might be connected to some of the more unexplained technological advancements that occurred during that time period.
Like what? Anti-gravity devices, time travel.
Who knows? It's all very speculative. But that's part of the allure of these kinds of mysteries. It's the unknown, the possibility of something truly groundbreaking that keeps us hooked.
Totally. Okay, so we've got aliens, Nazis, secret societies, reincarnation. What else could this compendium possibly throw at us? Well, in entry #4, we meet a mysterious woman referred to only as L.
Owl, why the secrecy?
That's part of the mystery. But Frandsen believes she's the reincarnation of Valerian's wife, Ivina.
Hold on, so not only is Frandsen supposedly a reincarnated alien, but now his alleged past life wife is back too. What are the odds?
Right. It's a pretty wild concept. But there's this, like, air of secrecy surrounding L's true identity. It's not clear if she even knows about this connection to Frandsen and his past life.
A mysterious woman connected to a man who claims to be a reincarnated alien spy. Sounds like we're just scratching the surface of this story.
Definitely. And the mystery deepens with the suggestion that L is gradually awakening to her own psychic abilities, like Frandsen.
So their connection might be triggering something in both of them.
That's what it seems like. Now, entry #5 takes a little bit of a detour. It
Oh.
focuses on Frandsen's attempts to communicate with, wait for it, John Constantine.
John Constantine. You mean the occult detective from the Hellblazer comic?
The one and only. I know, it sounds crazy, right? But this is where the lines between reality and fiction get a little blurry.
Blurry how? Are you saying Frandsen believes John Constantine is real?
Well, he was experimenting with what he calls multiversal communication, and he chose to target Constantine. And get this, some of the Hellblazer creators have claimed to have encountered a real-life Constantine.
Seriously, like a guy matching the comic book description just showing up in the real world.
Exactly. Apparently, there were stories about this mysterious figure appearing in various places, always connected to, occult happenings.
Wow. Okay. So we've gone from aliens and Nazis to comic book characters coming to life.
Yeah, this compendium really does take us on a wild ride. And to make it even creepier, Frandsen says he recorded a woman's voice during one of his experiments saying, "If you can hear me, Constantine wants you."
Okay, that's just chilling. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Me too.
Yeah.
You have to wonder if there's more to those Hellblazer stories than meets the eye.
I mean, with all we've uncovered so far, anything seems possible at this point.
Totally. And things get even more complex in entry, #6, with the introduction of Olivia, a young girl who claims to be Frandsen's daughter.
His daughter. But didn't you say he was abducted as a child? That doesn't add up timeline-wise, does it?
You're right, it doesn't. But Olivia claims to be the daughter of Ilarion, Frandsen's alleged past life, and a Tiashkaru woman.
Another alien species. Okay, my head is spinning.
I know, right? Apparently, the Tiashkarus are known for being deeply intuitive and emotional.
So now we're dealing with interdimensional families. This is getting pretty far out there.
I know. And it gets even wilder. Olivia ages rapidly, like years pass for her in what seems like months for us.
Whoa, time distortion. This is some serious sci-fi stuff.
Right. It's like time doesn't function the same way for her. Makes you wonder about the nature of reality itself,
It definitely challenges our understanding of how the universe works. So we've got alien abductions, reincarnation, secret societies, comic book characters, and now time travel. I'm almost afraid to ask what comes next.
Well, we've only scratched the surface of these first 10 entries, and there's so much more to uncover.
I can't wait to see what other rabbit holes this compendium leads us down.
Me neither. We'll dive into the rest of the entries and their mind-blowing revelations in our next deep dive.
Sounds like a plan. Until then, folks, keep those tinfoil hats handy.
And those minds open. We'll be back soon with more from the FrandsenFiles Compendium. See you then.
It's amazing how he ties all these things together, isn't it? Aliens, Nazis, secret societies. It's as if, like, he's pulling from, I don't know, like every fringe theory out there and making it into this big narrative.
Yeah. It's a lot to process. I'm sure some people listening are probably thinking, okay, where's the proof?
Right.
Does Frandsen offer, any concrete evidence to back up all these wild claims?
Well, he does include a variety of evidence in the compendium: photos, documents, audio recordings. But of course, whether it's real or not, that's, I guess, up for debate.
Right. So it's kind of like up to the reader to decide, how much they buy into it. It's like a puzzle, right? But some of the pieces are missing.
Yeah, I like that. A puzzle with missing pieces. I think that's a good way to put it. I mean, that's part of what makes the FrandsenFiles Compendium so interesting, right? It's like he's inviting the reader to participate.
Yeah, to investigate it themselves, come to their own conclusions.
Exactly. So before we get, too far ahead of ourselves, I wanted to go back to something from the previous entries, something I found, I don't know, like really interesting.
Okay. Like,
This whole idea of Olivia aging so quickly, like it really challenges how we think of time, right? That it's linear, that it's the same for everyone.
yeah, like she's experiencing it, I don't know, differently, not bound by, our earthly perception.
Exactly. And if time isn't absolute, then what else could be, more flexible than we think? Opens up a lot of possibilities, doesn't it?
It really does. It's kind of mind-blowing to think about. Another entry that really got to me was the one with his teenage paranormal investigation team.
Oh, the paranormal radar force?
Yeah. I mean, it shows that even someone who claims to be, a reincarnated alien had to start somewhere, right?
I mean, yeah, we all start somewhere, don't we? He was curious, wanted to see what was out there.
It's like that, that feeling we had as kids, that sense of wonder, wanting to know what's hidden.
It's true. I mean, sometimes we lose that as we get older,
Yeah.
but for some, it keeps burning.
And leads them down some pretty interesting paths, like, the paranormal radar force, even though it didn't last.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's part of it too, right? Even if you're dealing with, the paranormal, you can still have regular human problems, conflicts, things like that.
Exactly. Like, no matter how extraordinary your experiences are, you're still human, still subject to, the same stuff we all are.
Right. So, switching gears a bit, I wanted to take a closer look at entry #9. The one about Maria Orsic and her being a double agent.
Oh, yeah. That's like a completely different take on the whole Vril Society thing and Nazis and all that.
It's like it's asking us to, I don't know, rethink history, to, question what we know and look at things from a different angle.
Yeah, yeah. So Frandsen is saying that she wasn't actually working for the Nazis, but for the Galactic Federation of Worlds.
Yeah, that's his theory. He's saying she was just pretending to work with them, secretly working against them, gathering information.
Wow. Okay. That's quite a claim. Makes you wonder, like, how much of history is, hidden.
That's something historians always struggle with, right? Especially when it comes to, the paranormal, where evidence is hard to come by, interpretations are all over the place.
Yeah, like we're trying to see the past through, I don't know, like a fogged up window or something. It's blurry.
That's a great way to put it, and I think that's part of what makes these fringe theories so interesting. They force us to, confront what we don't know,
Yeah.
to be open to the possibility that there's like more to the story than we think.
Okay, so speaking of stories, entry #10 is all about Frandsen's current work with his company, right? Bald and Bonkers Network, LLC.
Yeah, bald and bonkers. It's catchy, isn't it?
Definitely. So he's like shifted from investigating the paranormal to, you know, creating content about it.
Right. It's pretty cool actually. He's building a community, providing resources for people who are, into this stuff.
It's like he's saying, hey, I've been down this rabbit hole, had these incredible experiences. Now I want to like help you navigate it.
Exactly. And he's doing it in a way that's both entertaining and informative. Documentaries, anthologies, courses. He's really going all out.
And, whether you believe his claims or not, he's definitely made an impact on, the paranormal community.
Yeah, he's giving a voice to people who, might not feel heard otherwise.
It's like he's bridging the gap between the ordinary and the extraordinary, inviting us to step across and see what's on the other side.
And sometimes the best discoveries are made when we go beyond what's familiar.
So true. Well, we've covered a lot of ground here in, this part of our deep dive.
We have. It's been quite a journey so far.
Aliens, secret societies, reincarnation, time travel. What else could there be?
Well, in the final part, we're going to dive into one of the most captivating aspects of this whole thing.
Yeah.
The love story between Dakota, or Ilarion, I guess, and Ivina, the Star Angel.
Ah, the cosmic romance. This is a story that runs through, like, the entire compendium, right?
Exactly. It's like a thread connecting everything.
And we'll get into all the details of that in our next deep dive.
Yeah, we'll unpack it all.
Sounds good. See you then. Okay, so we're back and ready to finish our deep dive into the FrandsenFiles Compendium. And we're ending on, I think, the most fascinating part, this cosmic love story between Dakota, or, Ilarion, as he believes, and Ivina, the Star Angel.
It really is remarkable how this thread of their connection runs through so many of the entries.
It really is. We see it in, Frandsen's present life, his past life as Ilarion, even in Olivia's experiences. Like, Reincarnation, but it's not just one soul being reborn. It's about souls being drawn to each other over and over again.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And what I find so compelling is the emotional depth Franson brings to these accounts. You can feel the longing, the sense of loss, but also this like hope that they might find each other again somehow.
It's powerful stuff for sure, especially in that entry where he uses AI to reconstruct Ivina's face
Yeah.
based on Olivia's image. It's
Yeah.
like he's reaching across lifetimes,
Yeah.
trying to reconnect with this love that goes beyond the physical.
It's incredibly moving. And it makes you think, about identity and memory. Like if we are essentially souls inhabiting different bodies throughout time, what does that mean for our relationships, the connections we make?
Makes you wonder about the people we meet in our own lives.
Yeah,
Are they,
yeah.
could some of these connections have roots in past experiences, in lives we don't consciously remember?
It's a fascinating thought. And, it does align with some spiritual traditions, this idea of soulmates or twin flames who are drawn to each other across multiple lifetimes.
So does Franson believe Ilaria and Ivina will reunite in this lifetime? Like, what does he think will happen?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? And he doesn't really give a definitive answer. He presents it as this ongoing mystery, something that's still, unfolding.
Which I guess makes it even more
Well,
intriguing. It leaves us with this sense of wonder, of possibility, like, what if?
right. And it encourages us to think about our own relationships, the connections that have shaped us. Are there people we've met who seem, I don't know, strangely familiar as if we've known them before? Could those be echoes of past life connections?
I mean, it's a fun thought experiment, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that at the end of the day, the compendium it's a personal exploration for Franson. He's sharing his experiences, his interpretations.
Yeah, he's inviting us to consider different perspectives on reality, to question what we think we know.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what stood out to you the most? What really resonated?
For me, it was the sheer scope of Franson's exploration. He tackles these big, complex topics, weaving together science fiction, spirituality, history. It's really imaginative and thought-provoking.
Absolutely. It reminds us that the human mind is capable of some pretty incredible things, and that sometimes the most profound truths are found in those spaces where, you know, logic and intuition kind of like blur together.
And for those listening who are intrigued by Franson's work, I'd encourage you to, check out the FrandsenFiles Compendium, read it for yourself, see what you think.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a read. Well, this deep dive has been quite a ride. We've gone from alien encounters to secret societies to a love that spans lifetimes. It's been a lot.
It has. But ultimately, I think, the FrandsenFiles Compendium is really a story about human curiosity, this search for meaning.
This desire to understand the universe and our place in it.
And to, question the nature of reality itself.
Well said. So to everyone listening, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep your minds open to the extraordinary possibilities that might be out there.
Because who knows what's waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. Until next time, folks. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.